The point is, the dose determines the poison. Well, the same is true with sugar. So we have an innate capacity to metabolize about 12 grams of fructose per day. By the way, that's for adults. For children, it's 1/3 of that, 4 grams of fructose per day. Okay, 4 to 6. So we're talking very little, But when you think about, for instance, kid in America, 29% of kids in America consume the National School Breakfast Program breakfast in school. Okay, 29%. So what is the National School Breakfast Program breakfast? It's a bowl of Fruit Loops and a glass of orange juice. That is 41 grams of sugar. The upper limit for children in terms of their metabolism is 12 grams per day. They got 41 grams, and it's just breakfast. What do you think that's going to do? Now, if a calorie were a calorie, and if glucose and fructose were the same, then you say, well, you got to get your calories somewhere. But because fructose is not glucose, because fructose is more like alcohol, because fructose's toxicity has nothing to do with its calories, that is a huge overdose. And it has metabolic complications, it has systemic health complications, it has mental health complications, and ultimately it has societal complications.
Do you think it has neurological consequences?
Without question, it's the primary driver of ADD. It's not the only driver, but it's one of them.
How do we know
It's a primary driver of depression because we have the data.
As it relates to ADD and ADHD and all those kinds of things, how do we know?
We have functional MRI. We have performance data showing that when you take the sugar out, kids' scores get better. Okay, we did this ourselves at UCSF. We did a study where we took 43 children with obesity and metabolic syndrome, all high sugar consumers, all low socioeconomic status children, Latino and African American, all high sugar consumers. And what we did was we figured out what they were eating on their home diet. We studied them on their home diet. And then for the next 9 days, we catered their meals. No added sugar. We took the added sugar from 28 teaspoons of added sugar per day down to 10. Okay? So huge reduction. We gave them fruit. That was the only place they had sugar in their diet. Otherwise, we cut the sugar out. Now, if you do that, you're going to lose 350 to 400 calories per day out of your diet. All right? So the goal was to keep their weight stable, because if they lost weight, the critics would say, well, of course they got better, they lost weight. So we needed to maintain their weight. So we had to put something back in that was equicaloric. We gave them extra starch. So in the vernacular, we took the pastries out, we put the bagels in. We took the sweetened yogurt out, we put the baked potato chips in. We took the chicken teriyaki out, we put the turkey hot dogs in. So we didn't give them good food, we gave them crappy food. We gave them Safeway food, just CPG, consumer packaged goods food.
Okay, so you didn't give them vegetables?
No, we didn't give them any vegetables.
Okay.
But it was no added sugar food. Okay, and it wasn't funky food, it was just food we bought at Safeway, but it was chosen to not be sugar containing. Okay, and we gave them a scale, and every day we'd call them up on the phone, what'd you weigh? And if they were losing weight, eat more in order to maintain their weight for the whole 10 days of the study. And then we studied them on day 10. Every aspect of their metabolic health improved. Blood pressure went down, blood glucose went down, insulin went down, their pancreases started working right again. They had a serum lactate level. You're not supposed to have a lactate level. That means your mitochondria are dysfunctional if you have a lactate level. Okay? Their lactate cleared. Everything got better. Most importantly, for the first 5 days of that 10-day window, the kids were obnoxious. The parents would complain to us, my kid is a disaster. And the reason was because of withdrawal. They were withdrawing off sugar, withdrawing off fructose. And then, Moses, the sky cleared, and the kids started concentrating better. They started doing better in school. The parents noticed they were less irritable. The teachers noticed they weren't nuisances or trouble in the school anymore. The kids noticed. They said, "It's the first time my head hasn't been in the clouds." 5 days. 5 days. And in 10 days, we could see all of the metabolic benefits. Even though they maintained their weight, even though they maintained their calories.
Sounds like a bit of a scandal. When I hear that these kids are getting almost 30% of kids are getting, almost, through 3 to 4 times their recommended daily allowance of sugar from school, and that it's having these sort of really adverse consequences on us. And the studies are there to prove that the consequences are very real. Mm-hmm. It sounds like a scandal in the sense that nobody's doing something about it.
Well, yes, that way it is. The point is that the food industry is very powerful, and they have, swept virtually every aspect of this under the rug for 40 to 50 years. They knew back in the 1960s that sugar was a problem, but they paid off scientists to say it wasn't.